I somewhat woke up in a good mood today, but I have no clothes. I didn't bring enough clothes to Vegas with me. So I had some costumes in storage. So it might be red pill cosplay for the next couple days, as you can tell. So I actually have a stormtrooper one as well. I have a Madonna outfit. Let's see what else. I have a flight attendant outfit, nurse outfit. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clothes. I need to do some laundry until I can go do some laundry. Yeah, this is what it's going to look like. But anyway, greetings from the future. I am your Red Pill Rage hostess for today. And I have come back in time to tell you guys how to create a Armageddon proof survival bunker and my survival tips from the future on how to get through this Armageddon. All right. No, seriously. Maybe I'm just fucking paranoid, but I think if we are willing to prepare for earthquakes and we're willing to prepare for fires and tornadoes, one thing that we never thought that we would have to prepare for is a civil war. So I watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of movies, not so much anymore now that I know that Hollywood is full of disgusting animals. Disgusting demonic animals. I'm not watching anything on TV anymore. Like, I'm on a zero TV diet right now. I'm done with Hollywood. I've watched enough great movies. I've watched enough stupid movies. I'm at the point now where I literally just watch Korean dramas. I watch Korean television, and that's it. Watch shit on YouTube, and that's it. Other than that, yeah, I'm done with Hollywood. But I have learned well. Hollywood has taught me well. Let's just say that. And so has watching years and years and years of unsolved mysteries, forensic files, homicide hunters, deadly women, the Nightmare Next Door, First 48, the true crime murder show and podcast. I'm totally into it. And what all of this has taught me is that we need to be prepared for the worst. We need to hope for the best, and we need to prepare for the worst. And so here's my survival guide. Let's get into it. I don't have a whole lot of like pictures and video and stuff on this one, so you're just gonna have to take notes. Remember, taking notes, pencil and paper, taking notes, writing an outline. That's what we're doing right now. So get your pen and paper ready, because the first tip, and this is the one overreaching rule for the survival guide and how we're all gonna get through this. There are two people who are gonna survive if shit really, really goes down. And that's people who know how to defend themselves and people who know how to grow food. That's it. There are not going to be any other skills and talents that are going to assert your, that are going to guarantee your survival into the next day, other than those two talents. You got to eat, and you got to be able to defend yourself, and not just defend yourself from other people or defend yourself from the enemy or the aliens or the zombies or whatever's coming next. You need to be able to defend yourself also against the elements. So people who know how to build environments, people who know how to build shelters are going to be able to make it through. So let's start with food. Obviously, food is the number one thing. It's the most important. This is the problem that I have with watching shows like, The Walking Dead, is that, the only time we ever saw Carl eat was in the first season when he opened that when he opened that tin can of chocolate pudding. So people have to eat, and that's what's missing in all of the entertainment. And if something happens to where the food supply is affected, the water supply is affected, we really need to know how to grow our own food. We need to know how to package our food, and we need to know how to store our own food. This is super, super important. And this is where someone like me, someone who's a chef, someone who also has studied a lot of World War II era recipes, back when people had victory gardens, back when people were doing their own canning and their own jarring, like it used to be done in the old days. Right before the refrigerator is really when a lot of that stopped in the home, and that's really not a skill that has been passed down between mothers to daughters as it should have been. But that's something that I can teach you. So we'll do a canning and jarring episode at another time when I get back to my kitchen. But first off, when it comes to cooking, you got to know how to cook outdoors. If your gas supply is interrupted, you're going to need to know how to build a fire, or you're going to need to know how to cook with heat or steam, or just know how to boil things. You're going to need to know how to dehydrate things, and that's something that's really easy. I can teach you guys how to do that. But yeah, cooking outdoors, learning how to light charcoal, learning how to maybe have a stash of charcoal in your bunker. It's time to clean out a closet in your house for this. It's time to, if you have garage space, It's time to clean out maybe a corner of your garage, maybe a 3 by 4 foot space or a 5 by 5 foot space, just to keep all of the supplies that I'm going to talk to you about in this video. But yeah, maybe keep a bag of charcoal, some lighter fluid, keep some sort of wire rack, because if you have a wire rack, you can literally build a campfire with stones or bricks or something like that and cook everything on a wire rack. A wire rack is going to be more important to you than a cast iron pan, a pot, or anything else. Okay, a wire rack can be used for dehydration. It can be used on open flame. It can be used to strain something if you need to strain something, and you can put it on open flame and then if you do have a pot or a coffee pot or something, another metal object that you can heat something up in, you can put that on top of the wire rack and the fire will be underneath it. And it's super important to have one. Learning how to use solar, if you know how to, figure out how to get some sort of solar generator, where if you need solar power, you can bring that into a generator and then use the generator to cook something. You can plug, like, maybe, I don't know, an electric stove, a flat top or something like that, a little electric skillet or something like that into a generator, and then you can use that as a cooking method as well. So get used to doing some caveman paleo shit right now. Get used to barbecue. Get really good at learning how to build a fire, even if you have to take some dry sticks or some hay, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, and a piece of glass, whatever it takes. Let's all learn how to make fire if we need to. Okay, second, super important, have a stash of seeds, all kinds of seeds, as many organic seeds as you can get. Okay, you're going to need a good variety, because you don't know where you're going to be. You don't know what you're going to be able to grow. You don't know if you're going to you don't know if you're going to need your seeds in a go kit and you're going to have to go to another state. We don't know what's going to happen. So just have a nice variety of seeds, because you don't know what type of growing environments, climate environments you're going to be in if shit really does hit the fan. So get a nice variety of, like, leafy greens, so things that grow very fast, things that grow in cool weather, things that are nutritious, just like some nutritious greens or some nutritious herb seeds. You're going to need some vine things that can be grown in vines. Why is that important? What if you can't plant in the ground? What if you have to plant above ground? What if you have to plant vertically? If you have to plant vertically, then it's going to be important to have things that grow on vines, things like peppers, tomatoes, grapes, strawberries. All of those things can grow on vines. You're going to want some root vegetables. So things like potatoes and carrots, beets, parsnips, things of that nature, hardier vegetables that are going to sustain you and your family if you can't grow anything, if it's too hot to grow anything above ground, or if it's too cold to grow anything above ground. You're going to want something hardy and nutritious like that. Get some tree seeds as well for some citrus trees, some apple trees. Obviously, trees are going to take years to grow. But my roommate actually planted a lime tree maybe 4 years ago, and it started producing limes after about 6 months. So citrus trees can produce at a very small size. So you're going to want to get some seeds for that. And then you also want to get some, like, herbs and some medicinal plants. Things like lavender, mint, rosemary, sage, basil, ginger, and some other roots, things like ginger, garlic, onions, things like that. That's going to be really important, not just for flavoring, but because a lot of those herbs can be used topically. They can be used for skin care. They can be used for rashes, and then they can also be ingested for colds, flus, nausea, other things that may come down the pike that you're going to need medicinal herbs and plants, or even just for flavor or aromatherapy. All of those types of plants are really good. Okay, another thing that you need to think about is the environment. So I mentioned that earlier. Wherever you are, you need to be really aware of your environment and aware of what you can and can't do. So for example, if I get stuck here in Vegas and I just bunker down in this office here, okay, I've got shadowproof glass, I've got a nice cage, I'm in a concrete block. It would be easy to fence off this entire business center if we needed to protect it. I feel much safer in this concrete box with security than I do at home, okay, where any nigga can just smash a window in our house and we don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I know what's going to happen. My roommate knows what's going to happen, okay? Click, click, that's what's going to happen. But I'm just speaking generally, So what can I grow in here? Well, I have a window here. So if I had sunlight, I could possibly grow things in the window. So I would need to have vessels, something that I can put soil in. If you're in an environment, can you grow things hydroponically if you have no access to soil or dirt? Can you grow things in a greenhouse? Is there a place in your backyard or on your roof? Is your rooftop flat to where if you needed to go up there and build a greenhouse with plastic, would you be able to do it? Would it be windproof? Do you live in an environment where it would be too windy to have a greenhouse on the roof of your building? You know what I mean? I would love to, I know how to get to the roof of this building. This would be a perfect place for a greenhouse, but the wind would blow it because it gets really windy here in Vegas, so that wouldn't work. How far are you or how close are you to a water point? So that brings into play, are you going to need to grow plants that don't require a lot of water? So that would be root vegetables. That would be succulents. Can succulents be eaten? No, but you can grow aloe for medicinal purposes. What are the weather patterns? Do you have a consistent, are you in LA? Are you in the Bay? Can you grow food 365 days a year? Or are you in the desert? Can you only grow food 8 months out of the year? That you can use that will feasibly grow food in a certain specific environment. Okay, that might be plastic buckets, poke holes in the bottoms. That might be plastic water coolers, poke hole in the bottoms. That might be milk jugs. That might be water bottles. It might be tires. It might be wine barrels. It could be kegs. It could be a bathtub. You have to have some sort of vessel to grow food in. And then you also have to have some sort of vessel to store your food in. And this is where we start talking about canning and jarring and preserving. These are things that you need to start learning. You need to start getting, when I talk about having your go kit, you might want to have some yeast. You might want to have a pack of gelatin. You might want to have a pack of pectin so that you can start preserving things. And then, of course, I'm going to get into salt and sugars and vinegars and other things in just a minute. Another thing that you're going to need to be aware of is not just what happens when food goes in, but what happens when food goes out. Let's be realistic about this. Waste management. What happens if I have to hunker down in this office and the plumbing goes down and I can't get running water in this office anymore? Am I going to have enough hot water in that water heater to hold me over? Am I going to have to keep a few jugs of water here in my little bunker? You're going to have to keep some of those big 5-gallon containers of water in your closet, maybe 2 or 3 of them, just in case, until you can figure out how to source water. Is there a way, can I figure out how to, climb down into the fucking sewers if I had to in Las Vegas and tap into some sort of water source in this building, some sort of pipeline, some sort of reservoir? Is there anything that I can get into in this building to where if I needed water, I could get it? It's a good issue you need to look at. And then if I have to take a shit in a bucket for a month or 6 months or whenever Armageddon is over, if we don't die, if I have to take a shit in a bucket, what am I going to do? Maybe I should have a pack of sawdust. Maybe I should have some sort of hay. Maybe I should have a stack of newspapers, something I can use to turn it into compost if I need to. I know it's disgusting, but if you were stuck in one environment for Armageddon, what would you do? You have to think about these things. All right, so let's move on to my favorite part. Not really my favorite part. Let's move on to my second favorite part. Weapons, yes. Obviously, what we have to remember, and this is the part that you don't see in The Walking Dead. You're not going to always have your gun on you. You're not always going to be able to find bullets. Is it going to be important to know how to shoot? Absolutely. Is it going to be important to have a small armory? Absolutely. But what if you get separated from your weapons? What good are you going to be? What good are you going to be if you get separated from your gun or if you don't have any more bullets? You're kind of fucked at that point. So we can't just rely on that. You have to think of weapons that are easy to use. And write this down. You need to be thinking about weapons that are easy to find or weapons that are easy to make. And you need to be thinking about weapons that are easy to transport. Because your most important asset is going to be your box of seeds. If you have to dump everything else, if you have to dump all of your other supplies, that box of seeds, and I suggest that you shrink wrap it and waterproof it and vacuum seal it so they stay fresh and don't get stale and can stay waterproof in case you have to go in a sewer or something, you know what I mean? That pack of seeds is your number one, okay? So if you need to dump everything else, if you need to dump all your other gear, you have to hold on to your package of seeds, your boxes of seeds, or your box of seeds, okay? So let's talk about that, all right? Well, what are some of the weapons that are easy to find, easy to make, easy to transport, and easy to use? Okay, well, some of them that I have on this list are going to be close combat, and some of them can be used a little bit more from a distance. So let's talk about it. Tried and true mafia method. We've all seen this in all the mafia movies. Fucking wire cord. Fucking wire cord. Get some sort of handle on it so that you can get a good grip on it and it doesn't burn your fingers or burn your skin as you're choking somebody. But if you need to come up behind somebody, tried and true method, and it's a great method that you can be of a lot of different strength levels, but you're just using the tension on the cord to help you kill somebody. I think it's good. I think it's a great one. And I think it's something that if I got lost and I had to find supplies in a junkyard, I could probably find something like that. If I had to find supplies in someone's house or in a mechanic shop, I could find it. Okay. Another one, chefs know this. How do I know this? Because someone accidentally blew cayenne pepper in my eye. So the weapon is cayenne pepper. Okay. Get that motherfucker, put that motherfucker in a tissue, keep that shit in your pocket. And if anybody gets too close, let them fucking have it. And it will disable them for hours, if not minutes, okay? Luckily, there was an eye wash sink where I could wash my eyes, and then also, obviously, milk was on hand, so I can rinse my eye with milk, and it was no problem. But if I had not, I mean, I was still in pain for like 2 days, okay? If I had not had that milk and had that water on me, I don't know what would have happened. I really don't, okay? Great weapons. Another great set of weapons are obviously tools. What do the motorcycle clubs love to use? Hammers, okay? Hammers are effective. Hammers are multi-purpose. A hammer is something I would definitely want to have on my body more than a gun during Armageddon. Screwdrivers, same thing. Screwdrivers, very useful. Something you can keep in your car. Ladies, it's something you can keep in your purse. Guys, it's something you can keep in your sock. It's easy, it's concealable, and if a motherfucker gets out of hand, boom, they're getting a lobotomy. Syringes. This isn't something that I know a whole lot about. This is something you need to go research yourself, but I did hear something that if you get a molecule of oxygen or like a molecule of water in the bloodstream, you could kill somebody that way. So I thought that was really fascinating. Now, syringes are easy. You know, needles are easy to find. They're easy to carry. They're easy to transport. So if you needed to kill a motherfucker in their sleep, you know, if someone was holding you hostage or something like that, and you needed to kill a motherfucker in their sleep, a syringe would be a great way to do it. And again, you don't have to have a lot of strength, okay? You can come up to somebody as long as you can get close enough to get it in and push the button. You don't have to sit there and fight. So it's a good weapon for women as well, you know, women and children. Of course, being of European descent myself, I have to give credit where credit is due. And let's talk about some serious old school. Well, it's not just the Europeans who were doing this, the Chinese, the Japanese, they were doing it too. If you are in a situation where you got to take on a bunch of motherfuckers and there's only you, what is the most effective method? If you ain't got shit, if you don't have no kind of bazooka or artillery or anything like that, what do you use? You use science. And that's where we need to get into biowarfare and physics. Okay, so physics weapons, all right? What am I talking about here? I'm talking about velocity weapons, catapulsion weapons, okay? Figure out how to use ropes and levies and ties and cranks and shit. Start watching shows like How This Is Made and some of these shows that, what is the word I'm looking for? Start watching some of these television shows that reverse engineer how things are made so you can start learning about catapulsion and velocity. I mean, this is all stuff that I learned in physics class in high school. I don't know if you guys took physics. Hopefully you did. I'd like to assume that most of you were smarter than me. I barely passed it. I barely passed physics. So I do, but you know, there are a lot of cultures that have built weapons using velocity, catapults. Crossbows are bow and arrows, crossbows, those are velocity weapons, okay? Start thinking about that. Like, how could you protect yourself if you had to go up against a bunch of motherfuckers? If you have to get David and Goliath on people, then get David and Goliath on people. Figure out how to launch a bunch of fucking rocks over a fence if you need to, okay? Figure out how to set something on fire outside your fence if you need to. Figure out how to catapult some burning oil if you need to. There's a reason it worked for the Chinese. There's a reason it worked for the Vikings, okay? Explosives, that's chemical warfare, guys. You know, figure out if you need to make some shit pop off, Figure out how to do it. What was the other one I said? Bio warfare. Learn some poison. I'm sorry, I know this sounds crazy, but learn how to poison a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Learn which herbs can make somebody sick. If you need to poison a motherfucker, if you need to give a motherfucker, diarrhea so you can get away from them, do it. Do it. If you need to learn how to make somebody sick, do it. Find out what it was. Oh, I shouldn't say this, but you know, the Into the Wild guy, what did that kid eat? What did that kid eat in Alaska that made him die at 24 years old in the forest by himself? By the way, I love that movie. I love that movie. I need to read the book. I want to know what he ate, because if I need to kill myself or if I need to kill another motherfucker, I need to know how to do it. I don't want to die how he died, though. He got really sick. But what do you need to do? What do you need to do to make somebody sick if you need to make somebody sick to get away from them? Just think about it, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but this is reality. And shit's hitting the fan. And I don't know how much longer we have. Okay, it's starting to get dark. Hold on. So I also found this website, because when we're talking about weapons that are easy to make, you need to go to the people who are the best at making easy weapons to make. And who does that? People in jail. Right? People in jail. So I found this website, and this one, it's like shockingly good. But not surprisingly, all of these weapons are from a German prison. So let's see what the German inmates be making. Okay. Somebody made a shotgun. This is a shiv disguised as a crucifix. Brilliant. Wolfenbüttel. It's from Wolfenbüttel. This one was made, this is an immersion heater made from razor blades. This was in Hamburg. This is a knuckle duster. This was found in Wolfenbüttel. Here's a pipe made out of a horseradish tube, interesting, in Hamburg. Here's a double barrel pistol. This was found in Cell. Here's a ladder made from steel shelves of bookshelves. That's smart. That was made in Hamburg. Here's another weapon made in Hamburg. That's smart. That's where you keep your drugs. And this is kind of like an URUMI here. This is a whip made with razor blades, and that was found in Hamburg. And here's a dummy submachine gun. I'm not sure why anyone, I guess they just made that for fun. Oh, that was for an escape attempt. That was made in Wolfenbüttel. Radio transmitter, cool. Wolfenbüttel. And this is a grappling hook. That's something we can make if we needed to climb up a building, if we needed to. That was found in Ludwigsburg prison. Another dummy pistol made in Stammheim prison. And then here was a saw made in, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Another prison in Germany. Second. Wherever you are, sanitation is going to be important. And if you're in a situation like me where you're going to build a little bit of a bunker or have like a stash in your closet or your corner garage, I made a list of things, of like some supplies that I think are really super important. Okay. We can't think about what's right now. We have to think about what's long term. Okay. So what I'm going to do personally for sanitation, and this also goes to environment, you have to know what's going to freeze. And this goes with sanitation and food and everything else. You have to know for your environment what's going to freeze and what's going to melt. So for me, being here in Las Vegas, if shit hits the fan, electricity goes out, I have no AC, and I'm sitting in this, and I have to sit in 90-degree concrete box for a couple of months. If that's what has to happen, then that's what has to happen. But I have to keep in mind what is going to melt. There are certain things that I'm not going to keep here because I know they're going to melt. And on the opposite end, if you live in a cold area, all right, if you live somewhere where things are going to freeze easily or glass is going to break easily, then you need to keep that in mind as well and figure out which liquids can you have, which powders can you have, what's going to freeze, what's going to melt, what should you keep around you in your environment. So just general things to keep for sanitation. I'm going to get like a gallon of vinegar. Vinegar can be used medicinally. It can be used to clean. It's anti-inflammatory. It's an antiseptic. Vinegar can be used for everything. Okay, and it kills everything. It kills all the germs, and it's a preservative. I'm going to keep a gallon of cast iron soap. Most of you have heard of Dr. Bronner's soap. That is the most famous brand of cast iron soap, but there are cheaper unscented versions of cast iron soap that you can get. So I'm going to get about a gallon of that. We don't need the fragrance. I'm going to get probably a couple boxes of kosher salt or sea salt. Salt is, again, it's medicinal, it's antiseptic, it's got preservative properties. It's going to be used for just about everything, and it can be used for exfoliation and for other skincare issues as well. Baking soda, super important. Again, can be made into all kinds of detergents, can be used on your teeth for brushing your teeth if you need to. It can be mixed into a paste and used for skincare issues, rashes, bug bites, poison, things like that. Boric acid can be used as a detergent, can be used to clean just about anything. And it is also something that you can use to keep pests away. So for bed bugs, roaches, ants, you can use boric acid to keep that out of your space. You're going to want to stock up on natural medicines. Now, I mentioned earlier about getting seeds for certain medicinal plants, okay? But you can also get dried spices. So things like ginger, dried garlic, dried ginger. You're just going to want to keep something like that anyway. Turmeric is a medicinal spice that you could keep. Cinnamon, cloves, those are medicinal spices that you can keep. There's sage, you can keep that as well. Again, vinegar, antiseptic, but also a natural medicine, also can be used on skin issues. Essential oils, they can be used for aromatherapy. Some essential oils can be ingested. For example, I use an oregano oil concentrate for my digestive issues, and I love it. It works great. It's better than any fucking antibiotic that I've ever had to go on a 5-day treatment for. The oregano oil, it kills it in one freaking day. Cost me $40. I take one drop. It's probably the bottle that I have will probably last me the rest of my life. Okay. Things like that. They're anesthetic. So there's some essential oils that have numbing properties. For example, clove oil, oregano oil, I believe sage oil. It has kind of a numbing property to it. Cinnamon oil has a numbing property to it. So for aches and pains, joint issues, muscle pain, you can use that on there. And then also, like, if you have something on your teeth, and if you get one of those little bumps on your tongue or one of those little bumps on your like gums, you know, so you can use something like that. Dental floss and needles. Dental floss and needles can be used for everything, not just sewing your clothes, but also if you need to create basically your own stitch kit, you're going to need that. And then hard alcohol. Yeah, I'm going to get a couple bottles of whiskey, a couple bottles of vodka. And I also am putting away a stash of marijuana for myself because I know that, you know, I'm going to want, you know, a good ounce or two. I shouldn't be saying this. I'm going to need a good personal supply if I get stuck in here for a couple of months. So I'm going to need something to keep my mental health okay. And then I'm also going to need something to keep me physically okay if I get sick or something like that. Natural hygiene. Again, these are things you want to stock up on. Keep some of this in like in one of those storage boxes in your closet, in your bunker, in your garage, whatever. Basics. But once again, you want to be thinking about what's going to melt, what's going to freeze, what's going to break. A couple boxes of salt, a few pounds of sugar, maybe a gallon of cooking oil. I recommend blend oil. I'm a big canola oil, blend oil fan myself as a chef because it can be used for salad oil, it can be used for frying oil, and it can also just be used for anything else that you need saute. And a little bit goes a long way. It has a high temperature threshold, which means it won't burn your food as fast as some of the other oils will. It won't blacken your food as fast as some of the other oils will. So that's why I like canola oil myself. But whatever you want to use, peanut oil, olive oil is too expensive, vegetable oil, corn oil, whatever you want. You want to keep around, again, some aloe, maybe some aloe. That's another natural medicine, liquid aloe, baking soda and vinegar, like I said, multi-purpose, food, medicine, cleaning, everything. You want to keep, again, that Dr. Bronner's, that cast iron soap, that's really good. That's a really good scalp treatment. It's a really good facial wash. It's a really good body wash. Milk of magnesia for anyone who has digestion issues. And then also it's a hygiene issue for those of us who have oily skin, or if you ever get a bug bite or a rash, you can use milk of magnesia on your skin. Other things that you can use on your skin, I mentioned clove before, it has a numbing effect, but also cayenne pepper oil has a numbing effect. It has that warming effect, so that's good for achy muscles, as well as camphor. If you are an athlete, I know you know what camphor is. If you have old people in your life, I know you know what camphor is. Dried mint leaves. You can use those. If you can't grow your mint, get some dried mint leaves. That can be used mixed into a toothpaste. You can chew on them. You can turn it into gum if you have something kind of sticky, like, I don't know, like a sticky rice gum. You can fold that in with some dried mint leaves and create a gum if you needed to. And then hydrogen peroxide, same thing. Get a gallon of it. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it for your breath. You can use it for your teeth. Dentally, you can use it hygienically. You can use it for whatever you need it. All right. Let's talk about defense systems. Battlestar Galactica. My favorite sci-fi series ever. Not just because it had Edward James Olmos in it. Not just because Starbuck was fine as fuck. But what stood out about that series compared to any other war series or war movie that I've ever seen? That was the only one that used analog systems of communication. And I'm sorry to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, but we as truthers, we are going to have to switch to an analog system of communication. So what does that mean in this modern day? What does that mean for us? What does that mean for those of us who are living here, right here in America right now? Okay, what it means, and this is for you, England, as well, is it means that we are possibly going to have to go back to an AM radio system. I'm thinking about starting an AM radio show. I don't know how to do it, but if there's a way that I can repurpose this content and create an AM radio show, I'm going to fucking do it. I mean, I'm starting a studio. I mean, it just makes sense that I should do that, right? Okay. So guys, don't throw all your radios out yet. We might need our radios for a while. Don't throw them out yet. Don't just totally rely on iTunes and Google Music and YouTube, okay, for your music. All right. Hold on to at least one radio. Keep at least one radio in your house. Another kind of analog, this isn't so much about analog, but this is more about censorship. We need to get off of the Google platforms, all of them. We need to get off of all of the big tech platforms. So although I'm super happy that what started out as a complete accident by creating this channel, what started out as a complete accident is actually turning into something special. And I'm really, really happy that all of you are here and I've met all of you and you're all rocking with me. But there might come a day where this is gone, because I never thought that Instagram was going to ban me. I thought I would get a warning. I thought I was going to get a suspension. I didn't get shit. So all my videos were lost. All the content is gone. Okay. I don't want to go through that again. So as you can see in the show notes, I'm going to constantly have all of my backup channels. I have BitChute, I have Library, I have Vimeo, and I have Twitch. Okay. I can't do Parler. I can't do oh, do I have Parler? I might have Parler. I can't, but what I'm trying to say is I can't do every single underground platform, but I can try to do at least 5 or 6 of them. Okay. I can't do all of them. So you have to understand, okay, Gavin McInnes and Katie Hopkins and everybody who's getting banned, they're all going to go to other platforms anyway. So if you're following them on other platforms, I might as well just get ahead of the curve and be on that platform for you when you're ready to make the switch. So I have my profiles on there. I don't have a lot of videos or any videos on some of them, but just go on there and just go ahead and follow me now, and then I will fill it up with content later. Okay. I just need to get signed up, and then I will put the content on there later. Okay. But I'm busy with my real life too. I'm trying to build a studio here. So I'm really fucking, busy. I can't do everything by myself. Another analog communication system / defense system, we have to learn it right now. Do we need to learn sign language? Because now I'm starting to think about it. With this fucking mask bullshit, I can't hear people when they speak anymore. People can't hear me when I speak anymore. This isn't working. This New World Order stuff is not working. Okay, we need to come up with something else. Okay, I'm about to start watching some YouTube videos and start learning sign language. I don't know what else to do. What's going to happen when the powers that be silence us completely? How are we still going to talk to one another? You need to start thinking about this. Am I going to be able to learn sign language overnight? No. And it's going to be hard as fuck because I don't have anyone in my life to practice it with. Unless I start volunteering at, like, I don't know, a Braille center, but I can't because everything's on quarantine. Nothing's open. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to have to go back to film. It's a good question that we might need to start asking ourselves. Do we need to start going back to film? because I know for a fact, Google has every scandalous sex text picture of me that I've ever taken. Okay. Google has so many text messages of me complaining about Democrats. They have all this footage of me complaining about Democrats, you know, talking about Satanists, talking about pedophiles. Google has a lot of data about me. Google has a lot of things that they could use to harm me. Okay. I'm not so much worried about the news. You know, I'm not. I mean, if you guys ever see me naked, you see me naked. I'm not worried. You know, I look good, so it doesn't matter. I'm not embarrassed about anything. So I don't care if you guys ever see me naked. Shit, I might just show you. I might just get naked and just show you, and then there'll never be any problems after that. That way, if anyone tries to slut shame me, I can say, well, all my friends already know. So can't use that against me. Anyway, is film going to have to be how we start documenting things like we used to? Are we going to have to start taking actual pictures and learning how to develop them? If we have to take evidence, if we have evidence of something, you know what I mean? Think about it. Okay, Anthony Weiner's computer got copied, but that copy can get killed. That copy can be demagnetized. That copy can be erased. Okay, unless it's out there somewhere on the dark web, backed up, hopefully backed up somewhere. Okay, the powers that be can take all of the evidence that we've gathered. All right, now I know it's hard to buy a film camera. It's hard to even find film anymore, but shit, I'm just saying, is it something we need to keep in our bunker just in case? Just in case? Ask yourself. Now, I want to go ahead and end this video. It's been really long. I want to end this video with a weapon that I think is the master weapon of all weapons. I think you're really going to like it. I think it's a weapon that's easy to make. It just requires a handle and some sheet metal. And if you can learn how to cut sheet metal, which is I'm sure is a skill we'll all have to learn if shit really hits the fan. But basically, if you can imagine a whip, but a whip made out of razor thin stainless steel or razor thin aluminum. So this weapon would be very light. You could roll it up. It's easy to transport. It's easy to carry. Anyone of any size can use this weapon. An old lady can use this weapon. A little kid can use this weapon. A weak woman, a weak man, anybody could use this weapon and defend themselves at any distance and defend themselves effectively against multiple attackers. Okay, I'm giving you guys, write this down. I'm giving you the fucking holy grail of Armageddon weapons right here. And this weapon, it's an Indian weapon. It's called an URUMI. I am like nuts. I am crazy about this weapon. I think it is so cool. I think it is so pretty. I think that it's like a cat of nines, but with a sword. And there's so many versions of it that you can make. And this is something that you can literally make with scrap metal. Anybody can make this with scrap metal. It's so cool. Okay, I don't want to show me that. So now that I've shown you what it looks like, I got to show you how this motherfucker works. I saw this weapon. I was watching something about, like, okay, so another thing you guys don't know about me, super big military history buff. I was watching this military history, like ancient weapons series, and this was on it. And I said to myself, fuck, this is like the best anti-zombie, anti-mob weapon you could possibly ever freaking use. Okay, here we go. That's a bad motherfucker right there. All right. There's some more videos too I wanted to show you with this URUMI. This is so brilliant. This is so brilliant. I can't believe I've never seen this before. I mean, I saw it a few years ago, but it's brilliant. Beautiful, right? So it's so that guy, he's kind of got like this wushu thing that he's doing, but I'm very, very impressed. I love this. Here, look, some little kids using it. They have small ones. I mean, think about it. Couldn't you teach your children to use something like this? I think I know my daughter can handle this. My daughter's really good at volleyball, so I know she's got the arm for it. She can handle this. My daughter's like, she looks just like me, but she's skinny, but she's like, you know, like she's strong. She's strong. Me and her have gotten in physical altercations with one another, and I'm not scared of anybody, but I'm a little bit scared of her. As it should be, as it should be. So I don't have to worry about anyone hurting her in the world. She's got it.
Hey guys, today we're going to look at, is it a sword or is it a whip? It is a combination of.
All right, I don't care what he has to say. But yeah, look at this old dude. He ain't even that fast. I mean, you could seriously take out a lot of people with something like this. No doubt in my mind. And look at how primitive that version of it is. Very primitive. I mean, he's using rusted fucking metal right there. It doesn't look like copper to me. That is rusted piece of shit metal. I could make that. You could make that. We all could make something like this. Yeah, I would not fucking even come within 10 feet of that guy. I'd be terrified. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's G right there. All right, that's a fun. Why don't we go ahead and end the video on that? That was cute. Yeah, the Urumi is the one, guys. That is the one. All right. So I hope that is I hope that the survival guide, I hope that that helps you. I'm going to start building mine right now. And what's cool is that because I'm getting a stage built, all of these things that I can, water, supplies, boxes of soap, all of that shit, I can put it under the stage, put a little curtain on it, and I've got, you know, I've got 16 square feet of storage under a stage, and none of my clients are even going to see it. Okay. And then most of the stuff, because it's just basic, everyday, regular shit, if the world does not end, obviously I can still use it all. So the money won't be wasted, and I could possibly save myself and maybe one or two other people. And hopefully you guys can, you know, keep your family safe and keep your family ready for the next level if shit really does hit the fan. We can do this. Okay. We can do this. All right.